we're live. Hi everybody, this is Dr. Aisha.
And I'm Dr. Dean Sherzai.
And we are the co-directors of the Alzheimer's Prevention Program. Happy to be here with you guys. Today we have a Q&A session, and we asked a couple of our reviewers and viewers to come up with some questions regarding brain health so we could address them during this show. So make sure that you are online with us, and if you have any questions, post it in the comment section and we would be happy to address each and every one of them.
Sure.
So shall we start with the first question?
Absolutely.
Okay, the first question is from Richard, who lives in Los Angeles. Richard is asking us, why is Unwind, one of the elements of the neuro concept or stress management, so difficult?
So Unwind is difficult because we've approached it in a wrong way. Unwind speaks to management of stress, not just getting rid of stress through simple measures. And although we believe wholeheartedly in mindful breathing and these techniques we've incorporated in our household, but doing 5 minutes of mindful breathing twice a day is great for you, but it's not going to take away all the stress, all the stressors that build up throughout the day, from your work, from your walking, from your travels, traffic where we live, from work and everything else. I think the most important aspect, and the thing that we speak about the most consistently and with a really good plan, robust plan, is management of your daily stressors, the management of your daily activities. When you have a plan, when you have a vision, when you create an organized system around your daily activities and around your daily vision and mindful living,
yes,
then that actually manages your stress better than anything else. So by every time we speak to people, they're talking about meditation, transcendental, mindful breathing, all these things. Those are great. If it works for you, that's great. We do walking, we do mindful breathing, but the most comprehensive and the most robust and the most useful way to manage stress is to manage life, to make sure that everything is driven by a vision and they're in the right compartments and you're not living an urgency life from one urgency to the next. People actually think that they're actually doing something that means something long-term, but usually we're chasing from urgency to urgency. So the long-term plan should drive your life, not the urgent thing in front of you.
So in short, I think it's difficult because it just has a lot of elements, and also the definition of stress management is different for different people.
That's what's called genius, when you can take something that somebody just talks and you simplify it in a meaningful way. Absolutely.
And that's probably, for you and me at least, that's the thing that requires the most attention and work at it as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, good luck, Richard. All right, next question. So Liz from San Diego asks, why do I feel loss of energy after giving up sugar? Liz, that's not an uncommon question. I have been through that myself.
Yes, she has.
When people eat sugar, they are used to that punch of energy, you know, that big boost that you get. And that's why, you know, a lot of people who are addicted to candies and sweets, you know, we know a couple of people in our family who are dealing with this, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
Right as around 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., they need that dessert, whether it's a cookie or a candy, and they run to the vending machine to get that boost of energy because it's that time when you feel very tired. So when you let go of that sugar, of that rush of energy, you feel very, very weak. And that's because you're not really replacing that sugar with anything else. We don't eat right. So the key is to eat a very wholesome diet with complex carbohydrates that slowly and gradually release glucose and sugars from your gut, not like an extreme spike of glucose in your circulation, and so you don't feel very weak. But I have to tell you, if somebody is used to eating a lot of sugar, the first few weeks is the toughest.
Absolutely.
Because their body goes through that change, their brain gets used to the lack of that, that sugar punch, and it's really addictive. So your whole body's going through that change. Please give yourself some time. Eat lots of whole foods, plant-based diets, lots of fruits and vegetables to sustain your energy, and you should feel better in no time.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go with the third question now. We have Christy from New Jersey. Christy is asking us something in the same field but a different format. She says she had been on ketogenic diet for a very long time and she felt great. Why is that?
Ketogenic diet, we had entire sessions on this.
Yes. And so for a definition, maybe we should tell everyone what ketogenic diet means.
A ketogenic diet means basically a diet that's usually high in protein, although in true sense, it doesn't have to be high in protein.
It's usually high fat, right?
Correct, high fat. But the core is low carbohydrates and low sugar.
Exactly.
But a lot of times people mistake it and take it to the extreme, which means high fat, high protein. Not necessarily. But in either case, what it means is the body is deprived of a source of sugar, both simple sugars and complex sugars. So complex sugars such as carbohydrates are not available. So after a few days, the supply in your muscles, it runs out. With it, it actually takes away a lot of fluid. So you have a rapid weight loss, anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds. And then at the same time, because the product of the metabolism of protein, but mostly of fat, is ketone bodies. This small molecule actually circumvents the energy system and goes right into the cell. Remember, we were talking in a different session about how glucose has to go through so many gates and so many processes to get into the cell. And that's why this source of energy is so important, why the appropriate amount in the right way, released in the right way is so important. But ketones just go right into the cell without any receptors. So the person that has ketones feels this burst of energy.
Yeah.
Now that burst of energy feels good, but with it comes, especially if you have high fat and all the repercussions of high fat, a lot of subsequent damage to the vasculature and the metabolism of the body.
Yeah.
So the boost is from this quick way that energy gets into the cell, which is the ketones. But long term, it has repercussions.
Absolutely. So one has to keep that bigger picture in mind.
The bigger picture. And that's hard to make that argument to a lot of people because they feel good initially. On top of that, they lose weight. Initially, at least. And so our argument is the longer, the more disciplined, the more comprehensive approach to weight loss, but more importantly to health, means having carbs, actually a major component of your diet being carbs, and not just focusing on ketones, this molecule.
60-70%, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great question.
It is.
Okay, so the third question is from Robbie, who lives in Atlanta. Robbie's asking us, are naps good for brain boost? Was that a third question or fourth question?
Fourth
1, 2,
question.
3, 4. Sorry. Fourth question. Robbie from Atlanta says, are naps good for brain boost or brain health? Well, that's a great question. So, naps, if you're used to taking naps, that's fine.
And you're still able to sleep okay at night.
Right. But you have to keep in mind that when one sleeps during the daytime, you're basically disrupting the biological clock. And as we get older, it's very difficult for us to get good sleep at night if we take naps during the day. The need for sleep gets shorter and shorter as we grow old. So make sure that you don't take naps. But if you've taken naps all of your life and you're used to it and it gives you energy and makes you work well and you can sleep at night, that's fine.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to the next question. Nancy from Riverside asks, what are some good vitamins for brain?
Some of the good vitamins for brain, well, this is the big one that every patient comes to us with bags of vitamins.
Yes.
And it's tough to take away things that people have given power to.
Right.
Vitamins have gotten their own energy and their own power because people believe in them.
Well, but I mean, obviously, if you think about it, it kind of takes away your responsibility to eat well and do good things for yourself.
With one pill.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to take my pill and I'm going to be okay for the rest of the day. I wish it were true.
Yeah, absolutely. The best form of vitamin, again, we repeat this, is in food form, because in a complex, multicolored, plant-based diet, you will get all the vitamins you need, and you'll get them in synergy, working with each other for the body, as opposed to vitamins in a pill form, which actually there have been no studies that have shown that if you have no deficiency, if there's no deficiency state, that vitamins have done much good.
Right.
Even in neuro, the only vitamins that have been shown to have some benefit, if somebody has low B12 levels or low normal or low, B12 has helped. Or if they're vegan, B12 has helped.
DHA as well.
DHA, omega-3, definitely. That's been shown to be beneficial. So those are a couple of the ones. But if you have a deficiency state, absolutely. If you have B1, or vitamin D or any of those is important to get the vitamin in a pill form. But again, even in those conditions, check your diet to see what's lacking in your diet.
Yeah.
Some of the vitamins can be toxic. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K in excess can become toxic. So be very careful. And then the other thing is about mixing vitamins with medications or mixing vitamins in excess amounts with each other.
Yeah.
We really don't have good evidence that that there might be damage in that. So get your vitamins in your foods. Make sure you have a complex plant-based diet which has all the vitamins you need.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Okay, our last question is from Francis, who lives in New York. Francis asks, what are the best exercises for strengthening the brain?
Yes, so the best exercises for strengthening the brain are exercises that are complex, that actually activate multiple areas of your brain, and most importantly, that you can do for hours at a time while you're enjoying it.
Excellent.
Following a dot on a screen might be good. There is some evidence that even some contrived form of activity like that seems to be beneficial. But more complex behaviors, we just did a meta-analysis, one of the largest meta-analysis where it actually brings up other data, and we look at that data, and it shows that when you work around your weaknesses, if you have visual spatial problems, if you have attention problems or recall, memory, you have activities that challenge those weaknesses, it actually improves cognition, even in those who have mild cognitive impairment, which is usually a pre-dementia state. For the rest of us, it definitely is beneficial to have more complex activities. Examples of those are, playing musical instruments, dancing. There's been some studies that dancing seems to be beneficial. Reading and reciting and writing about it, because it involves recalling and processing information. Any activity that you enjoy that is complex, building models. You know, if you're into building cars, fixing the car, and painting. Art, all these are complex behaviors that challenge you. They challenge you throughout the process, and you enjoy for hours at a time. That has been repeatedly been shown to help the brain grow and sustain well into your late life.
And as far as physical exercises are concerned, the ones that you like doing is important. But, there have been some studies that have focused specifically on muscle groups, and it seems that leg muscles or your thighs, if they're stronger, you're actually going to be at lower risk of falls and other kinds of conditions that are related to frailty and weakness and aging as well. So focusing more on leg strength by doing squats and lunges
and walking fast.
Or walking fast is fabulous.
Absolutely.
We actually have a question live from Robert. Hey Robert, thanks for joining. Are occasional high-intensity exercises like sprinting on an elliptical machine a couple of sessions a week any better or worse than walking 30 minutes every evening to prevent cognitive decline? That's a great question, Robert. I think high-intensity exercises are much better than lower-intensity exercises. And if you're doing this, say, for example, a couple of times a week, I believe it's definitely better than walking at a slower pace.
Correct.
But again, it depends on whether you can sustain that. If it can't be sustained, 30 minutes of walking is great.
My favorite exercise that I prescribe to every patient.
Yeah.
Get a recumbent bike, put it in front of your TV if you're a TV watcher or if you're a reader, and for hours at a time, do it slowly, but continually do it while you're watching a TV show, and during intervals, during the commercials, just rev it up. So on and off, and this has multiple effects. First of all, you're doing it for a sustained period of time, and the interval nature of it actually really seems to be beneficial for the brain and for the rest of the body, for that matter. So that would be my prescription for a lot of my patients.
Absolutely.
For families.
Well, I think we're done with this session. We had all these questions, and again, thank you so much for joining. And we'd be happy to answer any other questions that you may have after this show. Make sure you comment and put in your comments and questions there, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So basically, this format will continue in the next few weeks. We'll be back in about 2 weeks with another session, with another topic. Let us know if there are any specific ones that you're interested in. And if you like these videos, make sure you go to Team Shares Eye and subscribe to our newsletter. We'll be sending newsletters out in the next few weeks, and we're going to be adding some tips that we usually don't talk about, and some insider views and viewpoints, and some some information that are not shared on social
And
media.
recipes.
We'll share some recipes as well. And if you like the videos, whether it's here or on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to them so we could continue sending you some great material on how to keep your brain healthy.
And share it.
And share it with your friends and loved ones if you think they'll benefit from it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great day.